The hierarchy just shattered. After decades of Mercedes-AMG and Audi RS dominating the conversation about ultimate luxury performance SUVs, BMW has done something extraordinary with the 2027 XM. This is not evolution. This is revolution. And if you have spent the last 40 years watching German automotive engineering reach heights that seemed impossible, what you are about to hear will redefine everything you thought you knew about performance luxury into SUV form. You remember the first time you experienced true German performance. Maybe it was an E30 M3 carving canyon roads with surgical precision. Perhaps it was the supercharged scream of an AMG Hammer, accelerating with violence that seemed to defy physics. Or the way an original Quattro redefined all-weather capability. Those moments shaped our understanding of what automotive excellence meant. The 2027 BMW XM represents that same seismic shift happening right now, and most people have not yet realized the magnitude of what BMW M Division has accomplished. Let me give you the numbers first, because you appreciate precision and you deserve specifics. The XM label arrives with 738 horsepower. 738. That figure combines a twin-turbocharged 4.4-liter V8 producing 585 horsepower with an electric motor delivering an additional 194 horsepower through a plug-in hybrid architecture that represents the most sophisticated powertrain integration BMW has ever achieved. The torque figure reaches 738 pound-feet, available almost instantaneously thanks to electric motor contribution. 0 to 60 happens in 3.7 seconds. For context, the Mercedes-AMG GLE 63S manages 603 horsepower and needs 3.8 seconds for the same sprint. The Audi RS Q8 Performance delivers 631 horsepower and requires 3.6 seconds. But these raw acceleration numbers tell only a fraction of the story, and you know that better than anyone. What separates the XM from everything else in this segment is not just power. It is how that power reaches the road, how the chassis manages tremendous forces, how every system works in concert to create an experience that feels fundamentally different from anything Mercedes or Audi currently offers. BMW M divisions spent decades perfecting rear-bias performance dynamics. The X-Drive system in the XM maintains that philosophy, while adding all-wheel drive security. In normal driving conditions, power distribution favors the rear wheels at a 60-40 split. Under hard acceleration, the system can send up to 100% of available torque rearward. This creates rotation characteristics and driver engagement that simply do not exist in the more neutral, more predictable all-wheel drive calibrations from Ingolstadt and Stuttgart. The adaptive suspension system uses electronically controlled dampers that adjust compression and rebound rates in milliseconds. BMW integrated active roll stabilization that counteracts body lean through the corners with such effectiveness that the XM feels half its actual curved weight when you commit to a decreasing radius turn. The steering employs variable ratio programming, quickening off-center for immediate response, while maintaining stability at autobahn speeds. Every element here serves driving dynamics first, luxury second. That represents a fundamental philosophical difference from the competition, where comfort often takes precedence over engagement. You have heard the criticisms about the XM's design. The proportions seem aggressive, almost confrontational. The illuminated kidney grille appears oversized to some observers. The split headlight treatment divides opinion sharply. And you know what? That is exactly the point. BMW did not design the XM to blend quietly into luxury SUV anonymity. They designed it to dominate presence, to announce arrival, to make every other vehicle in the premium performance segment look tentative by comparison. Think back through automotive history. The Lamborghini Countach faced ridicule for its wedge shape. The Dodge Viper seemed cartoonish and excessive. The original Audi TT drew criticism for being too radical. Today, these designs define their eras. The XM follows that tradition of polarizing boldness that eventually becomes iconic. Stand next to the XM in person, and the design language makes complete sense. The split headlights create a face unlike anything else on the road, immediately identifiable from a quarter mile away. The illuminated kidney grille frames the front fascia with technological sophistication that feels genuinely futuristic rather than gimmicky. The muscular haunches over 23-inch wheels communicate power and purposefulness. The distinctive roofline maintains SUV practicality, while suggesting coupe-like athleticism. This design works because it commits completely to a vision rather than hedging toward conservative acceptability. BMW made a statement. They declared the XM would not apologize for its presence. Yes, the design polarizes opinion. Yes, the size and weight seem antithetical to traditional M-car philosophy, but the spirit remains authentic. This is not a luxury manufacturer dabbling in performance to chase market trends. This is a performance manufacturer expanding their interpretation of what an M-car can be while maintaining the fundamental principles that made the division legendary. For viewers in the United States, the XM offers exactly what American roads and American lifestyles demand. The size and presence work perfectly in markets where bigger generally means better. The combination of luxury and performance aligns with American automotive preferences dating back to the muscle car era. The practicality of SUV versatility makes sense for buyers who need one vehicle to handle multiple roles. And that V8 engine note satisfies American appreciation for displacement and power in ways that smaller turbocharged engines cannot quite match. BMW understands the American market well enough to know that the XM needs to deliver drama and presence alongside capability. This vehicle succeeds precisely because it does not apologize for excess. To those watching from the United Kingdom and Italy, markets with sophisticated automotive tastes and long histories of performance appreciation, the XM demonstrates that modern engineering can create vehicles that honor tradition while pushing boundaries. You understand better than most that revolutionary designs often face initial resistance before achieving acceptance. You recognize that true luxury means confidence rather than conformity. The XM rewards the kind of discerning evaluation that looks beyond surface impressions to assess substance and capability. This is a vehicle that reveals its strengths over time and through experience rather than demanding immediate approval. Let us address ownership considerations honestly, because you think beyond the initial purchase to the total experience. The XM carries a substantial price, starting well over $150,000 and climbing higher with option packages. Maintenance costs will reflect the complexity of a plug-in hybrid powertrain and M division performance specifications. The 23-inch wheels and performance tires represent ongoing expenses. Insurance premiums acknowledge the value and capability. None of this represents news to you. What matters is whether the XM justifies these costs through the experience it delivers. BMW has improved reliability significantly over the past decade. The latest powertrains demonstrate durability that earlier generations sometimes lacked. The warranty coverage provides confidence. The service network in major markets offers convenient access to qualified technicians. Resale values for M vehicles, particularly limited production models, generally hold better than mainstream luxury offerings. The XM qualifies as a statement vehicle, the kind of automobile that retains interest and value because it represents a specific moment in automotive history when BMW chose boldness over conservatism. The total ownership proposition includes factors beyond pure economics. This is a vehicle that attracts attention and generates conversation. Park it anywhere and people stop to look, to comment, to ask questions. That visibility brings responsibility, but for many owners, it also brings satisfaction. The XM announces success and confidence. It suggests that you have reached a point where you make decisions based on what you want, rather than what others expect. That psychological dimension of ownership matters to buyers in this segment who have worked decades to reach financial positions where they can indulge automotive passion without compromise. Imagine yourself behind the wheel on an empty Sunday morning. The roads are clear, the weather is perfect, and you have nowhere you need to be. You thumb the starter button, and the V8 rumbles to life. You select sport mode and feel the exhaust note deepen. You guide the XM onto your favorite driving road, the one you have driven hundreds of times in other vehicles over the years. You accelerate through the first corner and feel the chassis compress, the tires bite, the steering load up with information. You apex perfectly and squeeze the throttle, feeling 738 horsepower launch you toward the next braking zone. The XM feels alive beneath you, responding to inputs with precision that makes you feel talented and confident. This is not transportation. This is communion between driver and machine. This is why you fell in love with automobiles in the first place. The XM delivers moments like this consistently, reliably, memorably. It creates experiences that justify the investment, that validate the choice, that remind you that automotive passion remains relevant even as the industry transforms. You can drive it to business meetings, use it for family duties, commute in electric silence, take the XM onto an alpine pass, or through the hills of Tuscany, or along the backroads of the Appalachians. And it performs with capability that approaches dedicated sports cars from a decade ago. The adaptive damping keeps the body flat through directional changes while maintaining enough compliance to absorb mid-corner bumps without upsetting the chassis. The torque vectoring system uses subtle brake application at inside wheels to sharpen cornering response. The available grip from performance tires stretched over those 23-inch wheels seems limitless right up until the threshold. Then the stability control intervenes so smoothly that you barely notice the assistance. This is a deeply talented performance machine that happens to offer SUV practicality and luxury, not a luxury SUV that occasionally pretends at performance capability. Compare this directly to the Mercedes-AMG GLE 63S, and the differences become illuminating. The Mercedes offers refined brutality, combining outrageous power with exceptional comfort and undeniable luxury prestige. The AMG rides more comfortably in normal driving. The interior materials perhaps edge ahead in certain details. The brand cachet carries weight in certain circles. But the GLE 63S feels heavier in dynamic situations, less willing to change direction, more reluctant to engage the driver in genuine dialogue about what the chassis is doing. The 9-speed automatic transmission, while smooth, lacks the precision and responsiveness of the XM's 8-speed unit. The steering provides less feedback. The overall experience prioritizes effortless speed over involving performance. For some buyers, that represents the ideal compromise. For those of us who value driver engagement, who want to feel connected to the machine even when piloting something that weighs 3 tons, the XM delivers more satisfaction. The Audi RS Q8 approaches performance from yet another angle. That Quattro all-wheel drive system provides incredible traction and confidence-inspiring stability. The interior design represents minimalist sophistication. The technology integration sets segment standards. The RS Q8 feels beautifully engineered and thoroughly competent. And that is precisely the problem. It feels competent rather than exciting, composed rather than engaging, refined rather than visceral. Audi has spent decades perfecting an approach to performance that prioritizes precision and capability over emotion and involvement. The result is vehicles that accomplish everything brilliantly without creating memorable experiences. You respect the RS Q8 without loving it. You acknowledge its excellence without feeling passion for it. The XM, by contrast, demands emotional response. It creates experiences that stay with you, drives that you remember, moments that remind you why you fell in love with performance automobiles in the first place. This philosophical difference matters more than specification comparisons might suggest. We have reached a point in automotive development where most premium performance vehicles exceed the limits of reasonable public road use. The Mercedes, the Audi, the BMW, they all accelerate faster than traffic allows, corner harder than safety permits, brake more powerfully than conditions require. Objective capability has become less relevant than subjective experience. The question is not which SUV posts the fastest lap time, but rather which one makes you want to drive it, which one creates connection between human and machine, which one transforms transportation into experience. On that basis, the XM stands apart. Consider the broader context of where we find ourselves in automotive history. Electrification represents an inevitable future. Internal combustion engines face regulatory pressure from every major market. Performance enthusiasts watch the transition from analog to digital, from mechanical to electrical, with understandable concern about whether driving pleasure will survive the shift. The XM answers these concerns not with promises, but with proof. This plug-in hybrid powertrain demonstrates that electrification can enhance rather than diminish the driving experience. The instant torque from the electric motor eliminates lag and hesitation. The ability to drive silently on electricity adds versatility without compromising character. The combined output exceeds what pure internal combustion could reasonably achieve while meeting emissions requirements. BMW has shown that adaptation to new realities need not mean abandonment of performance values. For those of you watching from Germany, the XM represents exactly what we should expect from BMW at their best. This is Munich engineering at full capability, M division uncompromised by committee decisions or market research timidity. The attention to chassis dynamics, the obsession with driver feedback, the commitment to performance above all else. These represent core BMW values, dating back decades. That kind of confidence resonates with those of us who appreciate conviction over consensus. Inside, the XM delivers luxury at a level that genuinely rivals anything from Mercedes-Benz, historically the benchmark for premium interior execution. The seats feature merino leather with available vintage brown or Mugello red color options that evoke classic sporting luxury. The dash incorporates carbon fiber trim with illuminated elements that add visual drama without feeling excessive. The curved display integrates a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster with a 14.9-inch central touchscreen, running BMW's latest operating system 8.5. With processing power that eliminates the lag and hesitation that plagued earlier iDrive iterations. But here is what matters more than technology specifications. The materials feel substantial. Door panels close with precision that suggests vault-like engineering. The Bowers & Wilkins Diamond Surround sound system delivers audio fidelity that transforms the cabin into a concert hall. The climate control system maintains temperature so effectively that you forget it exists. The ambient lighting creates atmosphere without distraction. Every control falls naturally to hand. This represents functional luxury, not theatrical luxury. The XM does not try to impress you with complexity. It earns your respect through quality and thoughtfulness in execution. The technology integration respects your intelligence. The head-up display projects critical information without cluttering your forward vision. The gesture controls work reliably enough to actually use rather than existing as a demonstration feature you abandon after 1 week. The voice assistant understands natural speech patterns instead of requiring specific command syntax. The navigation system learns your preferences and suggests routes that match your driving style. The driver assistance features provide genuine safety enhancement without becoming intrusive or overbearing. Too many luxury vehicles today bury useful functionality under layers of menu complexity. The XM makes advanced technology feel accessible and purposeful. Now let us discuss what happens when you actually drive this machine with intent. The XM offers multiple drive modes, but the two that matter most are hybrid and sport. In hybrid mode, the XM operates as a plug-in with approximately 30 miles of electric-only range. Around town, threading through urban environments, the electric motor provides silent propulsion with instant throttle response. The regenerative braking system operates smoothly enough that you rarely touch the brake pedal in normal traffic. This dual personality makes the XM genuinely practical for daily use, capable of whisper-quiet operation that lets you leave early morning or arrive late evening without announcing your presence to the entire neighborhood. Then you toggle into sport mode and everything changes. The exhaust valves open, releasing a V8 snarl that reminds everyone within 3 blocks that this is an M Division product. The throttle mapping sharpens dramatically. The transmission holds gears longer and downshifts more aggressively. The suspension firms up, reducing compliance in favor of body control. The electric motor switches from efficiency optimization to performance augmentation, filling torque gaps and eliminating turbo lag. The combined output hits you with force that seems implausible for something weighing nearly 6,000 pounds. Launch the XM from a standstill and the sensation defies rational expectation. The electric motor contributes maximum torque from 0 RPM, while the twin-turbocharged V8 builds boost. The xDrive system manages power distribution with such sophistication that you experience virtually no wheel spin even on less than ideal surfaces. The acceleration feels linear and relentless rather than peaky and dramatic. You reach 60 miles per hour in well under 4 seconds, then 70, then 80, with the same inexorable progression. The speed accumulates with such ease that you find yourself checking the speedometer more frequently than normal, genuinely surprised at how quickly velocity builds. But straight-line acceleration represents only one dimension of performance, and you understand that truth from experience. The XM reveals its true character when you point it at a challenging road and commit to pace that would overwhelm lesser SUVs. The steering communicates road surface texture and available grip with clarity that seems impossible for a vehicle this large. Turn-in happens with immediacy that belies the nearly 200-inch length. The chassis rotates willingly, that rear bias power distribution encouraging the XM to pivot around its center rather than push wide like typical all-wheel drive SUVs. The brakes provide massive stopping force with pedal feel that inspires confidence rather than uncertainty. Then unleash its full capability when the mood strikes and the opportunity presents itself. This versatility, this dual personality, this combination of practical luxury and genuine performance makes the XM more complete than competitors who excel at one dimension while compromising others. Now, we need to acknowledge the elephant in the room regarding BMW's recent design direction. The brand has faced criticism for grille designs that seem oversized, for styling that appears to prioritize shock value over elegance, for moving away from understated sophistication toward aggressive presence. These concerns hold validity for some models, but the XM benefits from this boldness. This is a vehicle that should make statements rather than whisper subtly. The design works specifically because it commits fully to a direction rather than hedging towards safe conventionality. You may not love every detail initially, but the overall impression lands with impact. The XM looks like nothing else. In a segment crowded with similar shapes and conservative approaches, that differentiation carries value. Consider also that our perceptions of automotive design evolve over time. The BMW Z3 seemed awkward initially. The Bangle-era 7 Series faced fierce criticism. Today, we recognize these as important chapters in BMW's design evolution, moments when the brand took risks that eventually shaped broader industry trends. The XM may follow a similar trajectory, seeming controversial now, but looking prescient in retrospect. Or perhaps it will remain polarizing forever, becoming a cult classic appreciated by those who value individuality over consensus. Either outcome represents success for a vehicle designed to stand apart. The XM forces a decision. You either embrace what BMW has created or you dismiss it. There is no middle ground with something this bold, this powerful, this uncompromising. And that binary choice actually makes the buying decision easier for the right customer. If you want universal approval, if you prefer designs that offend nobody while exciting nobody, if you value conformity over character, the Mercedes or Audi will serve you well. But if you appreciate conviction, if you respect brands that take risks, if you want a vehicle that reflects confidence and individuality, the XM deserves serious consideration. Think about what we demand from ultimate luxury performance SUVs. We want outrageous power that we will rarely use fully. We want handling capability that exceeds reasonable public road limits. We want luxury appointments that justify premium pricing. We want technology that feels advanced without becoming frustrating. We want presence that announces arrival and commands respect. We want versatility that allows one vehicle to serve multiple roles. The XM delivers all of this at levels that match or exceed anything from Stuttgart or Ingolstadt. It adds distinctive character and genuine driver engagement that competitors struggle to match. The performance SUV segment has evolved into something fascinating and slightly absurd. We have created vehicles that combine contradictory requirements into packages that should not work, but somehow do. They weigh 3 tons yet accelerate like sports cars. They seat 5 adults in luxury yet handle like coupes. They comply with emissions regulations yet produce outrageous power. They serve as daily drivers yet deliver track-capable performance. This contradiction defines modern automotive engineering at its most ambitious. The XM represents BMW's interpretation of these impossible demands, and they have succeeded in creating something that honors M Division heritage while pushing into new territory. 40 years ago, nobody imagined SUVs with 700 horsepower. 20 years ago, hybrid powertrains seemed antithetical to performance. 10 years ago, vehicles this large and heavy could not possibly deliver genuine driving engagement. Today, the XM exists as proof that engineering continues advancing, that new solutions enable new possibilities, that the golden age of performance has not ended but rather evolved into something different and equally exciting. You have witnessed this progression throughout your automotive enthusiasm. You understand that each era brings new interpretations of performance and luxury. The XM represents this moment, this transition, this redefinition of what ultimate means in the luxury performance segment. The hierarchy has changed. Mercedes-AMG and Audi RS no longer hold uncontested supremacy. BMW has stormed into this segment with a vehicle that challenges assumptions, that demands reconsideration, that forces competitors to respond. Whether Mercedes and Audi can match what BMW has achieved with the XM remains to be seen. What seems certain is that the conversation about ultimate luxury performance SUVs now includes the XM as a legitimate contender, perhaps even as the benchmark against which others must measure themselves.